Hello, Matt Hooker here with another video. Today's video I'm showing 4 rounds of me sparring using the Peekaboo boxing style. It's very important to warm up properly and having a pre-sparring routine to get you ready in the mindset to spar. I usually do 3 things when warming up. Jump rope to warm the legs up, slip bag to get my head movement going, and then light heavy bag work for combinations. Don't overdo it in your warm up. Here you can see me using the slip bag to get the core warmed up and work my reflexes. The slip bag is my favorite bag. In round 1, I'm wearing the pink gloves and headgear while my opponent, Jaron, is wearing the orange gloves. Jaron always gives me tough sparring with his movement and fast combinations. I'm limiting myself to only using the jab and head movement only. It's always a good thing to use a progressive approach to sparring, using limited tools to work on weak areas. The most important thing is you always try to move your head after punching to anticipate your opponent's counterpunch, and always return to working the jab. There's different levels to sparring. You shouldn't always try to beat each other up, but rather work on speed and technique. There's a time and place to go harder. That should be reserved for boxers who are training for a competitive match. Remember, in sparring, always utilize the jab. Jab high, jab low, move your head right after you jab, and then you can fake with the jab to set up your other punches. Moving your head in sparring is very important. You always got to keep defense in mind, not just offense. Making sure you move your head after your last punch. Head movement can also be used to set up your punches. If your opponent is used to you moving your head from side to side, then you can disguise some of your counter punches out of that head movement. Remember, when your opponent gets you against the ropes, to keep your hands high, your elbows tucked in, and to utilize your head movement in combination. And then out of that head movement, you can move out or look for counterpunch opportunities. In this round, I'm only using the jab, the cross, and head movement. It's a short round because someone walked in front of the camera and I restarted the round. Round 2, I restarted the round and continued working the jab and the cross. Also my head movement to avoid punches. You can see once you finish your last punch, you should always move your head to anticipate your opponent's counter punch. It's also important to keep both hands up on your cheekbones. Your hands on your face can be a secondary defense in case you miss a punch while slipping or bobbing and weaving, and then you can parry or catch the incoming punch. As you can see, I move my head in combination. Sometimes I do only slip once or weave once, but most of the time I try to slip 2 to 3 times or bob and weave multiple times to avoid the punches. Try not to throw single jabs all the time. Use the jab in combination to either keep your opponent at bay or to close the distance. Also, taking the jab to the head and to the body and vice versa. And then always moving your head after you punch. As you can see there, I came in with a combination and then moved my head after my last punch. And then I twisted off to the side, but ended up on the ropes. But still being defensive, I was moving my head. Round 3, I'm working all my punches and still emphasizing my head movement. I'm also trying to add in more footwork by getting to the side of my opponent. Sometimes it's easier said than done. It's important to know which punches to throw at the proper distance. For instance, when you're on the inside, you're throwing hooks to the body, uppercuts to the head, and hooks to the head. But on the outside, you're working your straight punches, your jabs, and crosses. Right there, you can see I did a twist to the right-hand side and then fired out of that footwork maneuver. A lot of times it doesn't work, as when I twist to the side, my opponent will disengage and step off. It is very important, if your opponent gets you against the ropes, that you keep moving your head in combination. And then out of that head movement, you can look for counter opportunities. Right there, you can see I twist to the left-hand side and threw a punch. It's also important to be able to throw multiple punches with the same arm. This can sometimes throw your opponent's defense off, where they're used to you going back and forth from right to left or left to right. And then always going back to the jab. Working your jab, starting with the jab and your head movement. Round 4 was filmed towards the end of sparring class and took place after we both sparred other people for 10 rounds. I also switched to my heavier 16-ounce red boxing gloves. This round we were both tired and my focus was to fight on the inside and throw combinations. You can see right there that my opponent hit me with a straight right down the middle, because I left my head on the center line for too long instead of slipping side to side. What makes Peekaboo boxing style hard to master is it takes a lot of discipline to keep moving your head in sparring. Once you get tired, the first thing that usually goes out the window is your defense. So it takes that discipline and character to keep moving your head even when you're tired. And as you can see, since I am tired, I'm moving my head less. As you can see right there, I got hit with a good body shot. That's why it's important to keep your elbows close to your body and pointing straight down when you're defending. If you flare your elbows out, you will get caught with clean body shots. Remember, your stance is your best defense. If you enjoyed this video, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Comment below if you want to see more sparring videos where I commentate on the action.